Good evening, Lindsay. So that is a lot of money, 600 contracts valued at over 5 billion rand. I'm presuming that some of them will be found to be in the clear. Is that likely to be the extent of the probe?
Sally, it's so vast, the number of contracts, as you've just mentioned, that they are probing, and across 9 provinces. And also across more than one sphere of government, I should point out, provincial government as well as in municipalities, and of course also at a national level. So many probes that they need to conduct. They've got teams working in all the provinces. Sure, it might be found that some of them are above board, but from what I've heard today from Advocate Andy Matibi, who heads the SIU, that's highly unlikely. He pointed out to Parliament that it was all the complaints that were lodged with the SIU over these tenders that actually led the unit to approach the President to suggest to him that he might issue a proclamation for them to investigate. And by no means, from what we understand today, is this the end of the line. This is just where they are at this point in time. They hope by Friday to have a better indication of how much value can be attached to all these contracts and the extent of the investigations that they will have to conduct, because, as you know, they have to report back to the President every 6 weeks on the progress that they are making.
And now they've been given 6 months to actually look into these, so far, 600 contracts worth about 5 billion rand. That sounds like quite a tall order, unless they have hundreds and hundreds of investigators.
That's a concern, Sally, that MPs also raised, that what's going to happen to other big investigations the SIU are currently working on, for example, Eskom and Transnet. And again, the head of the SIU, Andy Matibi, pointing out that by no means will those investigations come to a halt. They also couldn't answer questions immediately as to how much this will cost the Special Investigating Unit to conduct all these probes. As I say, they're busy in all the provinces, setting up teams there to investigate the various contracts in the various provinces. And it's not just contracts that they're investigating, they're also investigating people. Parliament heard today that there were many state officials who are accused of colluding with businesses to award them these tenders, and there are complaints from companies who legitimately could have won these tenders and were just ousted due to collusion. So it's not just probing the procurement of goods and services, which range from everything from personal protective gear to sanitizers. We heard today that there was even a contract where a company put false labeling on their sanitizers, and they're even investigating decontamination contracts. So just such a vast range of contracts, and as I said, also people and officials and businesses that they will have to investigate.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of work. And then, of course, the allegation that the Special Investigating Unit is itself under a bit of a cloud, accused of tender corruption. So first of all, who's going to investigate that, and what is it for, and is it a big contract?
In the greater scheme of things, Sally, probably not a contract of much value. We know this complaint emerged from someone within the Special Investigating Unit itself, a staffer there who's accused the CFO of awarding a tender unfairly. What we know and what has been confirmed by the head of the SIU to Parliament today, that it was a tender worth about 58,000 rand. It was for masks for the SIU's own staff. It was awarded right at the very beginning of the lockdown. As the head of the SIU pointed out, they obviously have to protect their own staff as well, and this was the contract that was issued. He has told Parliament that he views this accusation in a very serious light, to the extent that he's already approached the Auditor General to investigate, and on his word, the Auditor General is prioritising this investigation, because, as he says, if they want to hold everybody else accountable, they have to be exemplary themselves.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. That's our reporter, Lindsay Dentlinger, reporting on the SIU today.